Introduced in 2016 as the successor of the GLK, the GLC competes in the most competitive segment of the SUV market. What we have here today is a 2018 Mercedes GLC 300. This is the most common one you're going to see on the road. Prices start at $41,000 but go all the way up to over $100,000 depending on how you spec this 2017 Best SUV Award winner. So I'm actually going to take you guys back to the old school here. We're going to do a quick walk around and take a look at this specific GLC 300 4MATIC. Now this is a regular, if we can call it that, GLC. Also available in a coupe model. This is the 5-door version. Now what we have here is actually a loaner that I have for a few days while my own car is in the shop. Now this is a base model with some extra upgrades that we'll go over here in a little while. Color is polar white. It's got 18-inch standard wheels, and as we make it back to the rear, you do see that it has dual exhaust tips. Now the front of the GLC is not the most aggressive Mercedes I've ever seen, and as I mentioned, this is more of a base model. If you were to opt for the AMG GLC 63S, obviously it looks a lot different. But we do have halogen headlights, and we have LED daytime running lights down here. It is a good looking SUV, but it is the interior that makes a Mercedes, in my opinion. Now it is extremely nice in here. We got a silk beige interior, very, very comfortable seats. And me being 6'2", what I like the most about this vehicle is the enormous amounts of headroom that you have. I fit perfectly in this pretty small sized vehicle. If I'm sitting behind a driver my height, I do have decent amount of room. The driver's and passenger's seats are molded in the back for better knee room. So for someone that is 6'2" like myself, I do fit back there. Mercedes, bar none, owns the game when it comes to interiors in its class. Now the one we're driving here today has the linden wood trim for the center stack and also all of the 4 doors. For some reason I think it looks better in the doors than it does in the center stack. However, that is of course an option, so you can change it to a look that you prefer. Now the buttons here on the center stack are brushed aluminum, just nice to the feel, very simple outlay, very understandable from the first look of it. Now above it here we have the 7-inch infotainment screen that is controlled by the rotary dial in the middle here and also the optional touchpad. From my experience, I never really used the touchpad. Everything I do is done by the rotary dial here. Right next to it we have different driving modes. So in the GLC 300 you have an eco mode. That is the beginning one. That is obviously for the most fuel efficient driving. And then we have comfort mode, we have sport mode, and when we get into the sport mode and also the sport plus mode, the car's driving dynamics change drastically. Steering is a lot tighter, throttle response is like night and day from comfort and the eco modes. So under the hood we have a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder which is turbocharged, producing 242 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque, which propels this 4,000-pound heavy SUV to 60 in 6.8 seconds, which is actually pretty impressive for a 4-cylinder engine. It is mated to the 9-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters. Now, it's just my personal opinion that any transmission that is over 7 gears I find kind of useless. I haven't really gotten into these 10-speed and 9-speed automatic transmissions yet. I don't understand the purpose of it. I just feel like it wants to shift all the time. It shifts abnormally often. Now, however, it is a pretty smooth transmission unless you play around with the different driving modes. You have it in Sport Plus. The shifts are a lot more aggressive. It'll hold a gear for a lot longer versus just keeping it in comfort or eco mode. The driving dynamics are day and night. Now, Mercedes claims that the GLC 300 4MATIC gets 21 miles per gallon in the city and 27 on the highway. I just recently took this on a 200-mile road trip, all highway, and I managed to get 25 miles per gallon. Now this is a brand new car that only had 100 miles on it when I got it, so it might take some time for it to reach those numbers, but you know, I was just cruising highway, going the speed limit, and I managed to get 25 miles per gallon, not 27. We have a 7-speaker stereo, which is completely useless to try to demonstrate in a YouTube video because it never does justice. Now, we talked about the comfort in the front seats and the passenger seats in the back. Now, trunk space in the GLC 300 is okay. I actually fit in there, although it's not very comfortable. But this being a mid-size SUV, that's actually pretty good. And the vehicle itself feels bigger than it is. And that's where I feel that Mercedes really hit the head on the nail with the GLC. So practicality from a driving position is you have 2 cup holders right here, big cup holders in the side pockets of the doors. We have a pretty deep console if you open up the armrest, where you have 2 USB ports, an SD card holder, and so on. Bluetooth is obviously standard. Gotta get to my exit here. Yeah, it's no AMG, but it is peppy. And we have a button for manual mode. We'll try out the paddle shifters here. To be a standard version of this SUV, transmission shifts pretty quick. It's no PDK, but it shifts pretty quick. For my AMG C63, the shifts are a lot quicker. I don't know if I would ever use these paddle shifters anyhow if this was my car. Driving around in a 4-cylinder, playing around with paddle shifters, it's not really something that I would imagine myself doing. Visibility is also very good in the GLC. In my opinion, the panoramic moonroof actually helps out to make the car feel more open. But if you look back, you have additional side windows in the back to help with your blind spots. The car is equipped with blind spot detection as well. However, all in all, in my experience from selling Fords and driving one of the highest selling SUVs in this segment, the Ford Escape, does the Mercedes feel that much more different? They have very comparable engines. The Ford Escape has a 240 horsepower, 275 pound-feet of torque, turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, just like this one here. I mean, what you pay for when you buy a Mercedes GLC 300, a BMW X3, Audi Q5, or whatever it might be, is the brand. Now, is it a better looking SUV? Yes. Is there a lot better quality in the interior? Yes. Is it worth the $10,000 difference in base pricing? I don't know. That's something you're going to have to decide for yourself. Now, I would pick the Mercedes just because I like the brand. I like the quality. I like the way they look. And I guess, to be honest, I kind of like the status as well. But then again, that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. I hope you guys enjoyed this little overview of the 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 4MATIC. So if you're stopping by the channel for the first time and you have not already and you would like to, please subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.